not going to get a second chance in the game.
Hello, my name is Brian White. I'm the offensive coordinator, offensive line coach at Hulman Institute of Technology, located here in Terre Haute, Indiana. Our school has been ranked #1 in the country in undergraduate engineering for the last 18 years. So everybody going to see on our tape is studying engineering, math, or science. And today we're going to talk about passing the twist. We're a half-man, half-slide protection team. So especially on the man side of the protection, which is what we're focusing on today, defense are going to try to attack that with a twist or a stunt. So based on if the defender is the penetrator or the looper in the stunt, each offensive lineman is going to have to know what his responsibility is. Just to familiarize everybody with what exactly we're talking about, we'll teach our offensive linemen the 4 primary stunts we see. We label the defensive linemen in a scouting report for us as the T, which is a 3 technique. The R, or the rush defensive end, travels with the 3 technique, so that when we're talking to our offensive linemen, we can say, hey, watch out for the TR, or watch out for the RT. The first letter indicating who the penetrator is, the second letter indicating who the looper is. Again, it helps us scouting report purposes, but also on the sideline, being able to say, hey, was that a TR or RT? What was the stunt? To the other side of the defensive line, the lesser technique, meaning the shade or the nose or the 2-eye, gets labeled as the nose. He travels with the E, or the end. And again, we use this labeling system just to help clearly identify who's involved in the stunt. So the most important part of picking up a stunt is blocking the penetrator. The penetrator is the defensive lineman who's puncturing the line of scrimmage. This could be going to or away from the quarterback, but he's trying to work across the line of scrimmage, pick one of our offensive linemen so that the looper can come around unabated to the quarterback. The technique we'll use on the inside move by the penetrator is what we call a triple technique, which you'll see on film. The idea being that we want to use our inside knee of the offensive lineman blocking the penetrator to theoretically trip the defender, get his knee in front of the defender, and flatten out the stunt. If the penetrator is working an outside move, the offensive lineman will work the shuck technique, which he's going to flatten him, try to throw him out away from the quarterback as flat as possible to help work in tandem with the offensive lineman outside of him. So again, just to reiterate, this is the left side of the O-line that we have drawn here. So if the penetrator is working an inside move, we'll redirect and work the triple technique. If the penetrator is working an outside move, the O-lineman will shuck him, try to flatten him out so that the adjacent O-lineman can collect him. So first part, this is how we work the triple technique. So we'll work a set 2 rush mechanic, meaning that the offensive lineman will set, and then on rush, the defensive lineman will take the charge indicated. So here we're working the penetrator on an inside move. So the offensive lineman takes his set. On rush, the defensive lineman works inside, and the offensive lineman trips him with the inside knee up. Another view from the back here. This is set and rush. So on the snap, both the O-lineman sets and the defender comes under immediately. Again, this inside knee needs to work to trip or stay in front of the defender's inside knee. Get to some game footage of this technique here. We'll let the wide copy play, then we'll talk about the tight. So watching the left tackle here, this is the man side of the protection, slides on the right side. So you can see the defender working the penetration into the B gap. The tackle does a good job keeping his right knee inside of the defender. Another example here. Again, we'll let the wide copy play and we'll talk about the tight. So watching the right guard here, blocking the 3 technique on an underneath move. O-lineman sets, then works to get his left knee, his inside knee, inside of the defensive lineman's inside knee. So we talked about blocking a penetrator that's working towards the quarterback with the triple technique. Show you some practice footage here of a drill we work to work the shuck technique. So here, this is a right guard or right tackle, offensive lineman on the right side of the line of scrimmage on the man side of the protection. His defenders working away from the quarterback, so we'll work the shuck technique. Defenders working away from the quarterback, so we're going to try to throw him out and flatten him out as wide as possible. As flat and as wide as possible. So offensive lineman will take a set, the defender, right? We keyed the inside edge of the inside number on the defender. That spot's working away from the quarterback. So once we see that, offensive lineman will throw or shuck the defender as wide and flat as possible. Again, expecting the looper to come behind him here. If we're wrong and it's not a stunt, he's just taking a wide contained rush lane, we'll just kick back out and reattach to him. So we talked about blocking the penetrator. Now we're going to talk about blocking the looper. Again, the penetrator's crossing the line of scrimmage first. The looper is going to work behind the penetrator, trying to get to the quarterback. We identified the looper, or we identified that the defensive lineman is looping by his rush. At some point, the rush is going to stop. This might happen right on the snap of the football. He's going to stop, start dancing in place, start shimmying his head, or he might take 1 or 2 steps on his rush, stop, again, start the dance. But as soon as he stops his rush, our offensive lineman is going to back up. Anytime you get something weird, you don't know what the rush is, back up, get away from it. It's probably some type of loop. So the offensive lineman stops, backs up. Once the looper declares a side, offensive lineman will call out loop and go work to that side that the loop is going to. So I just talked about this drill, shucking him out right here. Now we're going to add the second part of it here. So now that we've worked the shuck independently, working on one defender, now we're going to add the shuck and then redirect to the looper coming back out. We do this drill with med balls. Can also do it with people, but I like to do it with med balls so we get as many reps as possible in a quick fashion here. So this ball is representing a penetrator working wide. So the inside edge or the inside number of the penetrator is working wide. So the offensive lineman will shuck him or throw him out wide and then redirect to the looper coming across the top. So you see our offensive lineman throws the ball out, or punches the ball out, I should say, once it's thrown at him, and then redirects to the looper coming back inside. We talked about blocking the looper and our offensive lineman backing up once a defender doesn't rush or stops his rush move. Here's us drilling it. So we have 2 guys working on 1 defender here. This is the defender that our right guard or right tackle or right side player of the offensive line is setting inside to. As he sets in, the defender's shimmying, dancing in place, not coming forward, not coming towards the quarterback, stopping his rush. Anytime the defender stops his rush, what do? Back up, get away from him. Defender stops his rush, back up, get away. So once we've worked the component parts, we need to piece them together. So here's an O lineman stopping penetrator and an O lineman stopping a looper. And again, continuing on here with our discussion of our guys as a rush back up, here's the drill we just did against 1 defender, now working it with 2. So our left guard here, setting inside, the defender doesn't rush, back up, get depth, helps put you on the same level as the offensive lineman adjacent to that you're working with. Again, work the triple technique, get that knee inside of the defender's inside knee. Inside man, in this case, needs to call out loop as the inside rusher is looping. Another look at it here from a different angle. So here's the shuck technique. Again, this is left guard, left tackle. Defender's working wide, working away from the quarterback, throw him out. Try to flatten him out as much as possible. For the outside, or for the tackle here, his man's the looper, his man doesn't rush, back up, get away from the quarterback. Or get away from the defender, excuse me. Another look at it here. right side of the O-line. A 2-eye or nose guard's working out. Shuck him, flatten him out so that the man adjacent to you can get it picked up. My guy doesn't rush. I see the head fake, I back up. Maybe he's just dancing in place and gonna work ahead. Backing up helps me protect that as well. So now we have the inverse stunt, where the man on the left here, his man's the looper. My guy doesn't rush, I back up. Flatten the penetrator, shuck him, throw him out, or trip him if he's working inside. Here's a drill, we call this the El Paso drill. We have 5 defensive linemen working on 5 offensive linemen here. We'll do this self-service, 5-0 line on 5D line, or sometimes we'll do it competitively against our D line. So we have 5 on 5 here, forcing all 5 linemen to work together, and they're all imagining that they're on the man side of the protection. So on the left side here and the right side, we have an RT stunt. The defensive end coming in, the 3 technique working out. Flatten, trip the penetrator, flatten him out. My guy doesn't rush, back up. Another look at it here. Again, the key being flatten the penetrator. It's the most important part of stopping the stunt. Show some more game clips here. Let the wide play. We'll talk about the tight copy here. So here we're sliding to the right, so the man side of the protection is here on the left. You see a good look at the shuck technique here, as the 3 technique is working wide. Flatten him out for my tackle to work with me. Flatten him out so that he can't pick the tackle. For the tackle here, my guy's not rushing, I back up. Good example, 2 guys working together here to get that TR stunt picked up. Again, let the wide copy play here. So man side of the protection is on the right here. Another example of a TR stunt here. Good job by the guard, flattening out the 3 tech. Good job by the right tackle here, recognizing that his man stopped his rush to the quarterback, so I back up, call out loop, and work towards the direction of the loop. Again, talking about the tight copy here. Slide into the left. Man side's on the right. So a good example here, not a stunt. We got a zone pressure going on here, but good example showing the right tackle here that his man's stopped his rush. His man's actually dropped into a zone coverage here. My man doesn't rush. I back up, collect the guy working out towards me. So again, the biggest takeaways in passing off the twist is stop the penetrator. If he's working inside of you, trip him. If he's working out, shuck him, throw him wide, flatten him out so he can't pick the guy next to you, the offensive lineman that you're working with on the man side of the pro. For the blocker working against the looper, my guy doesn't rush, I back up. That helps put me on the same level as the offensive lineman I'm working with.